Debra Amrein-Boyes. Debra and her husband founded the Farmhouse Natural Cheese Company in 2003 in the Fraser Valley, producing authentic artisan cheeses from the milk of the farms, cows, and goats. The focus of the cheesemaking is on traditional methods, producing a diverse selection of handmade cheeses from the freshest and highest quality milk. Please welcome Debra.
Nice to be here. Nice to see everyone. My husband and I, George and I, have a small family dairy farm in the eastern end of the Fraser Valley. My husband's from England originally, and both of us grew up in agriculture. I grew up in the Saskatchewan prairies on a mixed grain and beef farm, so I learned to ride when I was 3, climb up the leg of the horse and take off, and I can still do that. Chasing steers and cattle across the countryside. My husband has been in a dairy farming family. So we're a small family farm. He, as an immigrant in the 70s, came with 75 bucks in his pocket and worked his way to his own business. When our children were kind of growing up and leaving home, we came to the place where there wasn't as much free labor available anymore. And anyone I've been hearing from winemakers, from chocolate makers, from workers, you have your own business, all you do is work. And so losing the labor force made us have to sit down and decide how we were going to move forward. Not only that, there were some changes in the dairy industry, and if anyone has any specific questions about the dairy industry, they can certainly ask me later. I do know the answers, I think. With changes in the dairy industry, we really had to make some decisions how to move forward as a small family farm. By the way, small family farms are finished, hey? I think we all kind of know that. There's no future for a small family farm. So all the nostalgic feelings that we have around small family farms, if you're not buying food from a small family farm, they will not be there anymore. Only because it's not economically viable. In the days when I was a kid, the neighbors would gang up and come over and throw your hay in the hayloft. Now they want 25 bucks an hour. And these are kids with nothing for skills, except a couple of pairs of muscles, and all they want 25 bucks an hour to throw hay up in and the farmers are over a barrel because it has to be up there before it rains, and it has to be cured properly and put there at the right time. So it ain't easy out there on the land. Just saying. I drove to Richmond the other day and had to pick up some supplies, and I saw a big sign, you know, on number 6 road, there's where there's an industrial kind of next to Knight Street up north of the 91. On the east side there's farms, there are farms, some strawberry farms, great big sign. Stop buying California and Mexican strawberries. Because the bottom line is, if you don't buy BC strawberries, they can't afford to keep farming. And if they can't afford to keep farming, they're not there, and you will have your strawberries from California if California decides either to not pay us for our water so they can't grow the strawberries, or whatever. We don't have not just strawberries, which is a bit of a luxury, but we won't have anything. And I think this is a reality that people like yourselves have wrestled a little bit with, and thank you for supporting local farms. Because if you don't, we definitely aren't there. Because our kids want to have iPods too. Right? I don't have one, and Richard knows I don't do Twitter. I'm the only one apparently. Yeah, but my dream is to just be on the farm and wear gumboots and do what we do. We love farming, we love it. We are farmers, we want to be there, we want to look after the animals, we want to nurture the land. I had a discussion with some of the interns that we have. We train interns at our cheesemaking facility on the farm. We had a discussion about how it is to raise crops for animals. You don't just like go cut the hay and put it in the barn. There's the whole thing about how many nutrients are in the grass and how many days there's nutrients and what the cows have to be fed, etc. Anyway, it's a science. We decided, rather than go into more debt and build bigger barns and milk more cows and buy more quota, that we would look into diversification. At that point of time, it was the right kind of timing in the world. Or in the industry around here anyway, in Western Canada, to look into diversification. So we decided to apply our philosophy, and our philosophy is that food should be good. Food should be good, and you should want to eat it, and it should make you happy, and it should be good for everyone, and good for the earth, and good for, and I don't want to sound flaky, but it should be good, it should all work. It was created to work well, and that's how it should be. So we wanted to apply that philosophy, and that's, I think, what we've done. We're both older and grayer and tireder, and our kids have flown, and they've done their thing, and they're doing their thing, and that's great. My dad, my family came from Scotland, and my mother's family came from Switzerland in the 1800s, and my grandfather moved out west in 1907 and homesteaded there, and farming is in the blood, but I totally lost my train of thought. What I was going to say with that. Oh, we don't believe that the kids should just be forced to work for nothing, and they should not have to think that this is their only choice, that they should be able to explore the world and make their decision. And people who decide to be a farmer and grow your food should be honored for what they do, because it is a big struggle. And I don't want to say that again, because I've said it and you got that message, and I know you know it already. But we diversified into cheese making in order to remain viable. And so we decided only the highest quality. We changed our herd to have different kinds of cows that create different kinds of milk. We graze our cows, which we always did anyway. The way we farm is not much different, it's just we vertically integrated. So rather than sell the milk down the road and have it bottled and put on the shelf in your grocery store, we use that milk and we create cheeses by hand. After I left Canada and I was married to a Swiss, lived in Switzerland for 10 years. My husband then passed away and I moved back to Canada. My sister lived in Agassiz, so I moved there to be near family. I had 2 little girls, met my husband George, got married, 5 kids altogether. And one of the things that I remember when we came back to Canada, my sister and I were visiting outside, and my daughter came rushing out of the back door. She goes, "Mom, there's no brie and there's no pâté." And my sister goes, "Oh, la-di-da." But the thing is, there should be brie and pâté because it's good food. Why not? And we had it in Switzerland all the time. But you know what? I could not find brie that wasn't like a hockey puck on the fridge. You could do whatever you wanted to that thing. It just didn't soften, it didn't ripen, it didn't do anything. So what we do is all natural handmade cheeses, the kind that you wish you could get every day. We also do some specialty things. Speaking of stout, we make the cheese for Central City Brewery with their stout that they have on their menu. As we speak, we're soaking a specific kind of goat cheese in Pinot Noir from Vista d'Oro. Mission Hill has compendium cheese on their menu that we custom made for them. We love to do that. It's great to be interacting in the food community. We love that. But what we do is small handmade batches of cheese, and so it's labor intensive, it's expensive to pay for that labor because nobody wants to work for free. And we focus on, I teach the interns, we focus on quality starts from the very beginning. You start with the health of the animal, with the atmosphere around the farm. All that matters, because a relaxed cow, they don't have a worry in the world, their milk is higher quality. And then the freshness of the milk processed makes, the milk is milked, the milk comes directly, we make it into cheese with gentle methods. And the quality speaks for itself, and I think those of us who are speaking tonight are in that kind of place where we just decide we don't need to compromise and we won't. Because I think we're becoming more and more sophisticated in Western Canada. We want more good stuff. We're tired of being told that this is food. We do tours on our farms, and what's interesting, when I have seniors groups, I love the seniors because they have great stories. Don't you just love the stories that you hear about how things have moved and changed and where they were, because that's where we are and we will be. But I ask a lot of them, because we do cheese tastings, whatever, if anyone's lactose intolerant, they're all like, no. You ask the school kids, 40%. Or a huge percent. Like, why is everyone lactose intolerant? Why is everyone gluten intolerant? What happened? What happened? Like the old people that come on the bus with the senior, with the person that drives them, They eat everything they want. Seriously, they do. They drink their beer, they eat their chocolate, they eat their cheese. They eat what they want, and they're okay. For the most part, of course, there are different issues, but
maybe they're not okay. Maybe they're just like, oh,
they don't care anymore. No, I mean they can eat well, better than kids nowadays. So something happened in there, and I think we have to think about that and go back to real food and kind of work on that, because I think some wool has been pulled over our eyes in the last little while. But so quality speaks for itself. I was actually nominated or invited to be inducted into a French cheesemaking guild, and now I have a patron saint. Saint Dubouzon. I love having a patron saint. I'm not Catholic, I never had a patron saint. It's very cool. And he has a little shrine up in the Alps between Switzerland and Italy. How cool is that? Like, I'd love to go there, and I missed the trip, but the guild does lots of events, and I could do those things if I could get away, which I did. We flew to San Francisco to attend the opening of the first American chapter of the French guild, Guilde de Fromager Confrérie de Saint-Dubouzon. That's my guild. And my cheese has been selected by one of my guild brothers, which is great. You have this little secret pin, and you can like know each other all over the world. Because there are some cheese shop owners in Paris that are my guild sisters. I mean, isn't that great? Yeah. My guild sisters, we can go and like, oh, yes, well, we know. That's great. But one of my guild brothers was invited to create a platter representing Canadian cheese for President Obama, just when he came in, and 3 of our cheeses went to the White House. So quality speaks, and it's recognized for itself. You don't have to go out there and necessarily beat your drum, because you get invited for, scholarships, or you get invited for things. I was also asked by a publisher of a book to write a book on cheese making, so I brought one to show you. However, I was just speaking to Patricia from Benton Brothers, and I said, you should just buy our cheese, not make it. But they asked me to write a book on how to make cheese for the home cheesemaker, and I said, really? I actually asked the publisher to go away and think about it for a month. I said, do you really think anyone's going to buy that? But they have been buying it. It's selling like crazy. It's apparently the Bible of cheesemakers now. Who would have thought? So that's kind of fun. It didn't make me rich or anything, but it's kind of fun. So now we're training interns. We do a formal internship of three months internship with 12 individual lessons. So when you graduate from our informal internship, you should be able to create your own kind of cheese, your own cheese. There are millions of thousands of kinds of cheeses out there. But I noticed there was some French cheese here tonight, which is very nice. French make great cheese. I just want to leave with this, just a couple of statistics. When I married my husband, which was in '96, there were over 800 dairy farmers in BC, and now it's 2012, there are just 500. Where did they go? The same with beef farmers. 5 years ago, there were 250,000 beef cows producing beef for us to eat, and now there is just about half of that 5 years later. Where did they go? And where is our food coming from? So I just want to challenge you, and I know you're the kind of people who are thinking of this, where is our food coming from? And if something happened tomorrow, remember Y2K, where we were all worried that the computer system was going to break down, there would be no food distribution and no hydro. Where would you go to get your food if there was no distribution, if your store was empty? It would be on our doorstep if we can make a go of it. But if we, like the strawberry farmer, can't make a go of it, we'll all be in trouble. So thank you for supporting local farms, and thank you for your time.